I Was Once is a journaling game. And that immediately, like, just saying that put me off immediately. I was like, nope, I don't like diaries. Nope, don't do it.
I'm shit at keeping diaries.
So it's not about that. It's really just you can narrate it verbally or you can write it down. Either way. But you are constructing the background, the backstory of a magic item, of an artifact, a sentient artifact that once was forged by a deity. And it goes through sort of its three distinct stages of its life cycle. It begins owned by gods, and then it weakens and falls and becomes owned by great champions and kings or queens. And then as its power wanes, they hand it off down to the mere mortals. And the game contains a bunch of rules that sort of dictate how it changes and shifts. And I thought it would be rather fun if we played it together. It is a solo game, but you can play it with as many people as you like. What I thought we'd do is take it in turns to make decisions about the thing.
Sure.
It could be kind of fun. So here's the title page. It is not a very fancy PDF. Like, you know, some of them have like fancy artwork and drawings and stuff. It's got none of that. RJK Games have, however, crafted a very interesting little concept. What do you want to be, first of all? Do you want to be there are three different sort of types of thing. You can be a crown, a blade, or a well. The well being a deep reserve of knowledge bound into a gem or similar. I don't think you should limit yourself necessarily to that, but yeah.
I'm not adverse to shiny rocks. Particularly if they're dice-shaped.
Oh, fuck yeah, okay. Knocking it straight out of the park there, alright.
Gemstone dice.
A gemstone dice. You were crafted by a deity obsessed with knowledge and preparing for anything. Describe them, their workshop, and the depths they carved inside you.
That sounds a little suggestive. Okay, add 3 traits and choose or create 3 birthrights and draw your end.
Oh, that's the next bit.
Oh, right.
So the very first thing you do is describe
Who
the
is
deity
the god?
which created you. You don't have to name them, but you could.
Well. Looks around for inspiration.
Can't help you, I'm drinking Corona. We should be doing the crown one if we're doing that.
Let us call them.
There's any number of tchotchkes and knickknacks on my
I know,
deck.
I know.
But you don't want the worm deity. Such a good fiddle. Such a good fiddle.
Where is that one? You've lost an eye, though.
It just rubbed off. So it's even more unsettling. Hey, Absalom Duck. How you going, buddy? Good to see you.
Let us say that it was crafted by the god of stone.
God of stone. Okay.
By the god of stone. And they are basically an animated pile of rocks.
As in the god is?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, oh shit, you haven't seen the D&D movie yet! Because we haven't seen each
No.
other. We haven't had time to go to
We
the
were
movie.
going to do it.
Like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But basically there's a bit where he makes like a hand and it basically all the rocks kind of come together and come up to form the hat. So basically rocks, just kind of pebbles and sand, they would basically just form this figure when they choose to exist in a corporeal form.
Ah.
And they have a, their workshop is in a volcano
Sure.
where
Yeah.
rocks become rock.
Okay.
God of Stone works in a volcano.
Yeah. It's a logical place for a forge.
It's a very sensible place.
No, it is.
Highly dangerous, but they are a god, so, you know.
And they're a rock god, no less.
The god of rock.
The god of rock! His name is Jack.
What's supposed to be the depths they carved inside you. Well, Something that I have seen in dice recently that I think is hella cool is that they have a liquid center.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically make a little liquid center and then they put that inside the dice.
And then they fill it with glitter.
And because this is a god of stone, he can shape the stone however he desires. So he has shaped this particular dice-shaped stone to have a void in the center, which has been filled with liquid magic.
Liquid magic. Alright, okay. Katie Wolfsbane suggests a luck deity.
Ooh.
If you're a polyhedral. Yeah.
Some people do think stone, you can have your lucky stones and stuff. So that actually works.
And Absalom Duck is doing well. We are well as well, I think. Just tired.
Just busy and tired.
Yeah, busy and tired.
And busy with things we don't necessarily want
Like
to be
doing.
busy with. Like if we were busy doing things we loved, that would be amazing.
But like the work I don't like. So describe them, that's done. Add then 3 traits and choose or create 3 birthrights. Then draw your heirloom. It need not be a work of art, just a physical representation. I don't think we need to draw a polyhedral dice.
Just hold one up.
20-sided, are we thinking? Or a really unusual number, like a 19-sided dice.
Can you have a 19-sided dice?
He's a god. He can make whatever he likes. They're a god.
13-sided dice.
13-sided dice. Okay, so the deities... Would that be the deity's special number?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Lucky 13. I don't know how they've crafted a 13-sided dice, but they managed
They
it.
twisted reality.
Yeah, it's like the impossible staircase.
Yeah. That's very cool. So, your first...
So are these the traits of the god or the item?
The item.
The item.
So, there are some suggestions. Traits, for example... twinkling, clouded, ever-shifting, void, all-seeing, all-knowing, of fiery, frostbitten, star-cryptic, labyrinth, aching, or ravenous. I like ravenous. I also like ever-shifting. I almost like the ever-shifting void. The ravenous, ever-shifting void.
Maybe the liquid center makes it look like there's like a black hole inside it.
Yeah, alright. The ravenous void.
The ravenous twinkling void, because I like having twinkling in
The
front of void.
the ravenous twinkling void. That's just traits, though. That's actually... But it's also its name. I like that.
We can give it a gift just name, but it is for now the ravenous twinkling void.
Roll d20. Yeah, roll 20 can handle odd-numbered dice. It obviously can't roll the 3D dice, but it will produce the result. Oh, Absalom Deck. Type exclamation mark roll space 13 in my chat. You'll get a random number between 1 and 13. Programming ain't hard. I copy-pasted it from somewhere else. And suggested birthrights. You provide a truthful answer to any question. There you go. Got an 8 on the roll.
Yay! So you provide a truthful answer to any question your inheritor asks. The service of your gem shows visions of the future. You charge your inheritor with arcane knowledge. The magic they wield is imbued with the strength of a pantheon. You allow your inheritor to peer into other dimensions. Your inheritor can never disconnect from the knowledge within you. They knew what they were agreeing to when they claimed you.
Yeah. I really like that for this one. There's something similar for the sword on the ground. They can't put it down or take it off. But with this one, it's less of a big deal.
3 birthrights, okay.
I like something to do with luck, I think.
I think that you can tell it, you can ask it about a choice you're about to make, and it will give you
Odds or evens.
What that choice will lead to.
Yeah.
But
so not 100% foreknowledge, but glimpses.
Yeah. Let's the inheritor have glimpses. And obviously the less powerful it becomes, the less you're gonna get.
The less useful.
When it's weak, you might just get a sense of that'll work out alright.
Probably don't
that
do that.
Won't. No.
Yeah. I also want it to have I want the ravenous to be relevant to it.
I like the idea that it gives you a compulsion to check in with it.
Yeah.
Like, eventually you struggle to make any choice without consulting it.
Ooh.
Even if it's just like red or white wine, and you're like,
I think it consumes the other choice.
what do you mean by that exactly?
As in, like, the potential future Weeping Angels style. They eat all the potential days you had by putting you somewhere else. By changing your timeline.
So it'll give you these glimpses of possible futures, and by seeing them, they can never be?
Or oh, no, yeah, the one you choose is, and the ones you don't choose could never be. Like, it eats them.
Well, that's kind of how making a choice works in the real world, though. You can never have the other option if you make a different choice.
Yeah. Or there is an element of, like, you can roll the dice to reverse a choice. Something goes wrong, you can roll it, and on a 13, say,
you can have your choice again.
You can try again. But if it's not a 13, you have to pay it. That's where the Ravenous comes in.
Pay it with what?
Well, I would suggest a memory.
Mm.
You get a 1 in 13 chance of changing.
Yeah, kind of like.
But you have to pay up.
You have to give it the memory of a good choice you made.
Doesn't change the fact that you made the choice.
But you won't remember.
But you lose the memory of it.
Yeah.
So it's potentially costly, and you can only roll for each choice once. The 1 in 13 is low enough that I'm not sure I'd ever bother. It would have to be like something pretty fucking important. Maybe a 5-sided dice. I like 13 though.
That's 3 there.
Is that 3?
Glimpse of possible future. If you roll a 13, you can make the choice again. If you make a choice based on the options it gave you, and you went, nah, that kind of turned out kind of fucky. Yeah. But other than 13, and you must sacrifice the memory of a choice you once made. And I like to think that as it gets weaker, you don't get to choose anymore. It'll just take it.
Oh, it'll just take a memory.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if it's weak, you don't get full glimpses of the future. And if you do try to have a choice over,
So the 3 choices are the 3 things are glimpses of the future,
possibility to have your choice again, and that if you don't roll the 13, you have to sacrifice.
Oh, that's I consider that one of the. That's part of the first one. There's the part of the second one rather.
I like the idea of giving it a slight cursed aspect as well.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Taking your memories in payment is fairly cursy.
Yeah, but it's if you choose to do something rather than just the act of using it gradually. Has negative effects.
I reckon the curse comes in later. Like it starts out pure, because this is it. When it falls, you change it. I think initially it was fully good intentions.
I think that counts as 3 then.
2 goods and a bad.
Yeah. Because you still have to make a separate decision for the third one.
Okay. Yeah. About something small. I quite like the never disconnect from the knowledge within you. But it doesn't really make any sense because we haven't actually got it.
You're using
providing
knowledge.
Yeah.
Possibly that if you stare at it too long, you kind of get transfixed and it can be hard to draw yourself away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Looking too deep. Cool. Alright. Alright. Now we talk about the divine, the deity that we are talking about, the inheritor that first claimed you. So, These are the hands you were made for, the gods, the deities, the eldritch beings that press against the edges of reality. These are the stories you were made to tell. Describe the inheritor and how they claimed you, your first inheritor.
So whoever the stone god gave this to first?
Yes. I think the stone god, I reckon this was made for a... Oh! You have... These are the choices. Sorry. So these are your four options. A newborn deity. Answer the inheritors questions during the game when you have resolved. Yeah, cool. So a god of war, nature incarnate, a newborn deity, or apocalypse. I think a newborn deity for the first.
Sure. Newborn deity.
And it was a birth gift for them. All the gods brought one. And it was an attempt to sort of shape what this new deity would become. And everybody tried, and it was the forge god, the stone god, that succeeded. And they inadvertently created the god of luck. Well, not so much inadvertently, but yeah, they didn't know exactly what effect it would have, but... describe the inheritor and how they claimed you. It was a gift. I think they are... Describing a deity is difficult. I don't think they have a... if they have a physical form, there is a duality to it. I think there is a good side and a bad side. If you've gotten lucky, then you'll be talking to the nice side, and if you've gotten unlucky, and it would be a 50-50 chance of what you're talking to.
I like the idea that if you meet them on good terms, they take the form of whatever you would find attractive in a romantic partner.
Sure.
And then if they, if you meet them in an unlucky situation, they will, take the form of someone you would not find attractive.
Or somebody you would fear, like somebody just looking at you would find, either unpleasant or fearful. Yeah. What prophecy was written about them before they were born? I just described them, so it's your turn to... What prophecy was written about them before they were born? And... yeah, what prophecy was written about them before they were born?
Sorry, I'm just making notes. They rarely appear the same way twice. What prophecy was made about them before they were born? How about they have the potential to bring joy, but also disaster?
Yeah?
Because I think that sums up luck quite well.
Yeah, absolutely.
May bring joy or disaster to those they encounter.
And what did the deity do to earn your respect?
Exist, really?
No.
Guys, we're creating a new god!
That one's... Yeah, I reckon, though, this thing had to earn it because... I reckon it gave us a memory before rolling the dice. I reckon it fed us first. I reckon it had a good memory from before it was born. And it gave us their last memory. It didn't just give us a good memory, it gave us its best memory. because it didn't want to remember a time before.
Over their best memory. Cool.
During your time with them, the Inherited committed an act of divine strength. Choose one from the list and answer the questions. These are the acts of divine strength.
Your Inheritor created a new creature. What of their essence did they put into it? What of your essence was stolen for its creations? They killed another deity. Who were they to your Inheritor? How tough was the battle? And what were the ramifications of it? They created an heirloom of their own before discarding you. What aspects of you did they put it into? What advice did they give it before you left?
What advice did you give it before it left?
Yeah.
Before you left, yeah. Your call. I answered the last one.
Killed another deity.
I know what I'd do with kill another deity.
What? You know how black cats are meant to be unlucky?
Yeah.
What are lucky animals?
Lucky animals.
You know, like if you see them, it's good luck. There must be lucky animals.
Alright, let's
right?
Google this shit. 12 animals that bring good luck. Bulls are known. That actually rings a bell, as does elephants. Rabbits, apparently.
The first picture is of a bunny, guys.
Bats.
Bats.
These creatures may creep outside, but Chinese culture welcomes winged mammals. Apparently they mean good luck. Bears.
Native American Siberian culture.
Beetles. Ancient Egypt. Oh, yeah. Bulls. Greek, Celtic, Egyptian, East Indian. Fuck off.
Pop up.
Deer.
Deer.
Chinese word for deer, lu, means income.
Prosperity.
Elephants. Positive omen in India. Frogs.
Frog has good luck symbols. It depends on many rains for rich and bountiful crops.
Ah, so it's actually a very practical one. I like that. Goldfish? Oh, yeah. Ancient Greeks.
One of the 8 sacred symbols of the Buddha, representing fertility, abundance, and harmony.
I mean, they do fuck. Horses.
8 or more. Animals special.
There's already a deity very specifically created a horse, though. Ooh, iguana. Lizards. Good luck signs due to their sneaky abilities.
Good vision and protection from the unseen things in life.
Pigs. Yeah, we knew this.
Pigs are
I knew
lucky.
pigs of them. Chinese and Irish. And bunnies.
Rabbits have long been associated with strong fertility. I wonder why. After long barren winters, spotting a rabbit was a message of the lush and hopeful spring to come. It was these beliefs that helped form the tradition of the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like beetle because I have an idea for that.
Yeah.
So basically, they made a specific type of beetle that was good luck. If you spotted one, you got good luck.
Okay.
And they basically made its shell to look like and it shimmered like the stone.
Yeah, sure. And its wing cases are flat. It's just an unusually angular creature. Yeah, love it.
God of Luck made a lucky beetle.
What of their essence did they put into it? Luck, basically.
Yeah.
A lucky beetle. What of your essence was stolen for its creation?
Your beauty. You dulled.
Yeah, your luster. Yeah. Cool. Sure. All right. Answer an heirloom question. How long did it take your inheritor to know how to speak to you? Who do you wish had claimed you instead of your inheritor? Just after your inheritor claimed you, they had to fight for their life. How was your wisdom, the key to their survival? How did they take credit for your victory? You saw the death of the person your inheritor loved most, whether it was written in the future or in the patterns of the past. Did it save them? Could you have if you wanted to? I really like this.
That you
Just
help
after.
them choose how to win the fight for their life.
Yeah, and it was very much... I think it's why you wound up vibing with them so well. Because It's almost what set them. I reckon there was a primordial god of war that didn't like the Forge god winning this competition and tried to kill the newborn god. And nearly won, and then the newborn god rolled the dice and got a 13.
Yeah.
And paid the memory. And just walked through the combat back 6 seconds and stabbed the god of death, or the god of war, in the back where he knew he'd be 6 seconds from now, that sort of thing. And how did they take credit for your victory?
Well, they didn't tell anyone that they got to do that.
Yeah. But I think in payment for it, they said, right, yeah, this is what we are. You and I are a part and parcel of the same. I also think with the Beatles, I think we gave our luster. I don't think we took it. I think the relationship with this deity was fairly harmonious. Write about how your inheritor loses you or why they gave you up.
Ooh. Maybe this is where we can come back to that idea we didn't use, that over time they begin to wonder if they're capable of choosing without consulting the dice.
Oh, yeah.
And so they choose to pass it on before it consumes them.
Sure. Love it. I reckon it's a growth thing because it's a new god. And you're like a baby blanket.
Yeah, and they've got to let it go.
And then you pick a second. And I feel like we were given to the new god of war.
Yeah?
After the luck deity destroyed the last, a new one was risen. And in recompense for slaying the first, it aided the second.
Yeah?
Balance.
To help them, guide them to make better choices than the one they just killed.
Yeah. The new god of war, I like to think, this is my turn to pick, is a risen mortal. And the gods were looking for a new god of war and went and found someone worthy. So this isn't a tyrant, this isn't a conqueror. This is a general who defended a nation against incredible odds, who held the line and protected. They were looking for a
defender rather than an attacker.
Yeah. They were looking for a less angry guy, a less aggressive. Well, aggression is definitely this deity definitely possesses aggression, but it's tempered by wisdom and logic.
And yeah, as in for the greater good.
Yeah.
A phrase I hate because it.
So whilst they do have a very martial military aspect to them, they are still. I would say they are the first of the gods that was once mortal. And because a new god and a risen god is not quite same power level, the deity of luck gifted this.
They outrank them. It's like, hello, risen.
Or it was all like, hey, I guess you need every boost you can get until you're an established part of the pantheon. Here. Hook your brother up.
My handwriting is getting worse and worse. I do like writing by hand, though. That's why I own lots of nice pens and notebooks. Something satisfying about it. This is a really nice pen, by the way.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones I found in an op shop.
Yeah.
It's really nice to write with. So smooth, guys. Really smooth ball action. Just glides across the paper.
Gotta love some good smooth ball action.
So I'm teaching a short course at the moment on Tuesday night.
Which is why she isn't here.
Well, it's your night. And basically they're doing the routine holding light up orbs. So it's all very magical and mystical. But we also chuckle immaturely the whole time because we keep having to say balls. I'm like, so you're going to hold the balls above your head. I want you to relax your hand. I don't want you clutching at the ball.
Cup the balls.
You're going to cup the ball gently.
Gently but firmly.
Just a lot of us tittering away like immature teenagers. You know, we have a good time. At least I hope we do. I hope they're not just pretending to like me. The insecurity. Anyway, sorry.
That's the Inheritor and how they claimed us.
Cool.
Now on to the Inheritor's questions. Describe the lavish palace they rule over.
Ooh. Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Cool. I have an idea. Basically, they get the old God of War's digs.
Oh, yeah.
And the old God of War's digs was horrifying. It was
Yeah.
full of, like, you know, the heads of great beasts they'd slain. And occasionally the heads of
It's like,
enemies
past
they'd
the blood
conquered.
pit.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have a blood pit. You know, there's
And
like
a throne of skulls.
there's horrific tapestries of like them slaughtering people en masse. It's horrifying. So the new God of War gets in there and is like, holy crap, this
Ooh.
place is terrifying.
I reckon the new God of War lays siege to it. And tears it down.
Yeah, they raise it to the ground.
His last act as a mortal is bringing his army to the plane of the gods, and tearing down the old God of War's palace.
Oh, it's horrifying memorabilia.
Yeah, and do they erect something new in its place?
They erect something very simple, minimalist, but it's less
Practical.
And you know, but it's basically a beautiful training house.
Ah, okay. And ooh, yeah, I reckon. Do they bring mortals there sometimes, particularly promising champions, to train them?
Select mortals will be trained in the new training house.
It's a little bit. This is a little bit Huan Wu, actually.
It is a little bit, yeah. But honestly, he's a pretty good take on the concept of the God of War.
He is a pretty dope deity, generally. If you don't know of the sort of the mythology behind the Taoist pantheon, check it out. Their deities are like it's similar levels of. So anyway, there's this deities, there's this whole god, and
He's a turtle and a snake together.
Yeah.
They're one creature, but also two.
The God of War, the Chinese God of War, the Taoist God of War rather, is called Huan Wu. They own Wudang, the celestial Wudang, which is the mountain where the monks train. And there's an earthly Wudang, and then there's a celestial Wudang. Technically, they are the mountain. They are also a giant turtle. They are also a demon at one point. They used to be a demon. They rose from hell. And they are also, at one point, they were two separate individuals that became one. No one's sure quite when. But one of them used to be a snake and one of them used to be a turtle. And now they're the same being, but capable of being in two different places at once. So the image will often be a snake sitting on the turtle's back. And they're the god of healing. They are considered the major yin, which is the powerfully sort of the dark, cold, feminine aspect, which I find quite interesting.
What's more ladylike than going to war?
Dark and cold.
Like, I'm not dark, but I do get cold.
Yeah. And yeah, he is also one of the four winds. He is the northern wind.
A lot of stuff jammed into one package.
Yeah. And there's the four, they are sort of, there's the top tier, which is the Jade Emperor, who is considered to be the god of the top tier,
The god of gods.
Zeus, Odin equivalent.
Father god.
And also the god of jade, like the god of stone. Then and each of them have an aspect. Each of them have a sort of an elemental aspect. There being 5 because stone counts. In the Chinese pantheon, it's stone. Wood is the other.
Stone, water, wind.
That's it. Wind or wood, interchangeable.
Metal
and fire.
And fire.
Yeah, metal and stone being somewhat.
Was I a metal dragon?
I do not remember.
I'm thinking of the year of my birth in the Chinese calendar. I'm definitely a dragon, but I can't remember what kind of dragon.
Earth
dragon. I'm not very grounded though.
Yeah, metal was 2020.
Rats. Oh, because Hugh's metal.
Yes, but that's it. It doesn't work. Like it's not 12 years.
Yeah, I
metal.
know. Yeah,
it's not that.
I'm just like I knew I wasn't the same as.
No, rhythm is metal. Rhythm is a metal pig. I'm a fire tiger. Arr.
And I'm an earth dragon.
Yeah, and then there's the metal tiger of the west, the white tiger, who is the god of metal.
And Vulcan.
Then there is the blue dragon of the east, who is the god of wind. And then there is the red phoenix of the south, who is fire. And a bunch of other stuff as well. They are the 4 major winds, and they are the next tier down. And then everything else underneath, which are called Shen, are all the other deities underneath them. There you go. Potted, simplest, massively simplified version of the Taoist pantheon.
Very massively simplest. All right. Next question. Why did you help them destroy a city of mortals that had displeased them?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon this is vengeance. Or like a combination of vengeance. Like it could easily have been misinterpreted as vengeance, but it was really just if I don't do something about this prick, he's gonna come back. So this is the aggressors in the war that he defeated, but he just drove them back. He didn't actually end them. And once he was risen, he was like, right. I got my celestial army now. Down I come to beat the shit out of you for the crap you pulled.
And the worst kind of warmongers, the raping and pillaging.
Yeah.
You know, we'll burn the fields.
Yeah.
Because nobody needs food.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, like, I get it's a tactic of war. I get why people do it, but honestly, it just...
Even worse is salting.
Yeah, salting.
Salting the earth is just, I'm like, that's fucked, man. Like, I don't have any intention of conquering this. This is for you to deal with later. I just want to spoil it for you forever.
Well, you can fix salted earth, but it
takes ages, yeah. You basically just encourage water to flow over it for
They were terrible people.
Yeah, they were bad folks. During your time with them, your inheritor committed an act of divine strength. Which one? Created a new creature, created an heirloom of their own, killed another deity. I love that we've already been used to kill another deity, but that wasn't the act of divine strength we talked about.
We'll want to roll those two
We've
together.
already done it. It's only the heirloom left. I mean, you could do create another creature or whatever you like, really.
Create an heirloom of their own before discarding you.
Ooh, I know.
Mm.
The heirloom is a fortified palace.
Ooh.
A fortified palace for the gods. To protect the deities. What aspects of you did they put into it?
Well, you could say that they used the dice's foresight to work out
the optimal way
to...
Well, that's how did they do it, not what part of me did they put in it. I was going to say a hunger. I reckon anyone who assaults this place will lose a memory.
Ooh.
And what advice did you give it before you left? What did the dice tell the fortress?
There's the center.
I love RPGs for exactly this reason.
What did the dice say to the fortress? It sounds like a joke. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Just gotta roll with the punches, man.
Ooh, sometimes you have to leave things up to chance.
Ooh. It's on the tip of my tongue. No castle lasts forever.
Or no fortress can stand forever.
Yeah.
So don't rely on this forever. That may come back and bite you in the ass.
Don't let them rely on you. I think ultimately this object cares about the gods.
They shouldn't let the other gods rely on.
Yeah.
Let the other gods rely on them for
They've
protection.
created a defensive work, but sometimes you have to attack. You can only roll well for so long until luck turns on you.
Enduring protection. Only luck runs out eventually. Which is why you always need to quit the gambling table when you've just had a good win.
Defensive warfare is a zero-sum game as well. You're never gonna... Eventually, your opponent will find a way in.
Or give up and go home.
Very rarely. Usually...
This is me, the pacifist optimist. Look, we'll just stay in here and wait for them to go away.
It can take years. Some medieval sieges lasted 20 years, but what you're relying on is someone else coming to make the enemy
just
leave.
Just imagine growing up in a city that had been under siege your entire life.
Yeah. I'm going to say Antioch. Constantinople was under siege for a good long while.
Just being a child and your entire life. That was all you know. Mind you, there are like 3-year-olds right now who do not know what life before the pandemic was like.
Yep.
One day we will tell them the tale. It's like, Grandma, what were you doing in 2021? Well, I believe I was on my 3rd nervous breakdown and I'd taken up knitting. Actually, I think I did both of those in 2020.
Answer an heirloom
dark
question.
humor.
Answer an heirloom question. How long did it take your inheritor to know how to speak to you? Who do you wish had claimed you instead of your inheritor? Just after your inheritor claimed you, they had a right fight for their life. You saw the death of the person your inheritor loved most, whether it was written in the future or the patterns of the past. Did you save them? Could you have if you wanted to? Oh, I know. I have an idea, but it's your turn.
I don't have an idea, so you go.
Well, I think it was the God of War's lover. And it was the
That's what I thought you were going to say.
It was the only reason they didn't want to accept deityhood. And the partner was killed by this force, and the god said, we can't bring her back, or him back, them back, but we can give you peace. We can give you the power to bring peace. And you saw the death coming. You knew the god, the general turned to you and said, is this true? And you gave them a glimpse. And you said, the item said to the general, we could save her. but the chances aren't good, and it will cost you. And so, and it was done to teach them. It was done to teach this young god that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Again, I'm thinking of the D&D movie, and I can't say anything because #spoilers.
So yeah, I think that happened.
You know, if they'd gone to heaven, I'd be a bit pissed off if someone brought me back. But look, I know you were all sad and all that I was dead, but I was in heaven. I was having a great time.
Depends on the afterlife question. Answer an element question. Right. Write about how your inheritor loses you or why they gave you up.
Ooh, I think that they pass the dice on to a man that has become king in the wake of a oak.
The god created this because they wanted to put fate or luck in their own hands.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that, you know how they razed the city of the enemies to the ground?
Yeah.
I think eventually,
A new ruler,
like
a
for a
better
long time,
ruler.
people thought it was like cursed ground and no one should go there. But eventually, like as the centuries tick by in Godland, they realize that a new civilization has risen up, in that place. A new one, a better one.
That one.
And they have chosen the man that's going to be their leader, because there's no like royal family or anything, and they're like, well, we better put someone in charge. Hey, this guy's great, and he's reluctant. He's like, oh guys, I don't know if I can be your leader. That's a big responsibility, and he's not sure if he can take it on. But the god of war like sees, you know, that he is a good person and will be a great leader. Or maybe the dice shows him that he's going to be a great leader if he decides to do it. So he comes, and part of him convincing him that he should become the leader and help the civilization grow and blossom, he gives him the dice and says, this will help you with the choices you need to make. So you won't. So even if you can't trust your advisors, or you feel like you can't trust people around you, this will always show you a glimpse of the truth. And he says yes, and becomes a great leader who rules for many, many decades and all prosper.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
Tony.
Good to see you, mate. All right.
You like?
Yeah, I do. When you have resolved 2 inheritors, you fall, and then move on to Act 2. So let's just check what falling does. First time you flicker, you answer these element questions. Right.
So this is the flicker now?
So, flicker and fade. When you... yes, I think so. I think you first flicker and then you fade. Each act is made up of 2 inheritors, after which it falls into mortal hands. So you fall. So, yeah. You fall, which means you go to Act 2. Champions. So you also flicker. So you fall into the hands of mortals. Describe the process. Are you tossed unceremoniously across dimensions? Does your divine inheritor give you to one of their champions as a token of favor? Or does something worse happen? We've already done that.
Yeah.
No internet at home until maybe tomorrow. Oh, no! Well, have a good evening. Thank you very much, Tony. Yeah, I hope your internet gets fixed, buddy. That sucks.
One of the darkest periods of my life was in 2018 when I had been fired illegally, but unfortunately getting a payout, that sort of thing, doesn't magically get you another job.
No.
So I was unemployed and at home and binge watching TV like my life depended on it. And looking back, my sanity very much depended on it.
Psychologically, it sort of did, yeah.
And the internet went down. It wasn't great for me because I'd lost access to all the methods of entertainment I was using to distract myself from the horrific mess my life was at the time. So I watched all the Mythbusters DVDs.
Oh yeah. Fortunately, we have
nearly all of them. Nearly all of them. I had
enough
loads of
to
Mythbusters.
watch Mythbusters for about 9 days straight, so
And I just keep and
with
like
minimal sleep.
and every few days I call the internet provider again and be like, I still don't have internet, guys. And then eventually I called them and they're like, oh, have you tried this? And it was something I'd done like a gazillion times before, so I nearly threw the phone out the window. But I'm like, yes, fine, I will do it again.
And this time it worked.
And this time it worked, and I had internet again, and I was like, well, fuck the Mythbusters. Actually, no, I probably kept watching Mythbusters.
Probably
I love
did.
the Mythbusters.
Yeah. So, you also flicker. When you flicker, change one of your traits. So, and that's the 3 one-word things.
Sorry, I'm just catching up.
Yep.
The gift of the die helps convince them.
And the first inheritor is a fairly easy one, because we know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monarch.
Become a great leader. Like Elizabeth I.
Sure. So, change one of your traits. We had glimmering...
The Ravenous Twinkling Void.
The Ravenous Twinkling Void.
Well, it's not as sparkly anymore, because...
Yeah.
It gave some of its luster.
So
to make
let's say the
lucky
Ravenous Yawning Void. Such a nice thing for the king to have. Like, what's this? Oh, this is one of my advisors, the Ravenous Yawning Void.
If you look into it, it'll let you know what choice you should
It might
make.
try and suck your soul in, too. Modify how a birthright works, or change it completely. This is where it gets a little bit gnarlier. Giselle! Hi from France. Hello. Greetings, Giselle. Thank
How
you
are
for
things
joining
in
us.
France? Are you all still on strike?
Yeah, how are things in France? Bonjour. Bonsoir, sorry.
No one strikes like the French.
No. Respect as well.
There's a wonderful image from France, and I hope it was real, because it's hard to trust the internet. And it was like this couple sitting in a lovely French cafe, and like the street was on fire behind them, and they were just still there sipping their coffee.
Excellent. So, birthrights.
So they have the whole let the inheritor have glimpses of possible futures based on choices you're about to make. Maybe that becomes limited. It'll only show you a limited number of options.
Yeah. Or the hungry.
They have the roll the dice on a 13, and you have a choice again. But if you don't roll a 13, you must give it a memory to absorb. And that's how it maintains its power. And stare too deeply into the void within, and you may become transfixed.
I reckon we save the transfix for the last one for upping the power of that one. I like, you don't get to choose. Oh, your pick. I think it's your turn to choose anyway.
I think every time you use it, you basically will become transfixed for a period of time.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Basically, you have to dedicate some time to it. You're going to have to sit there for
Take a little while off, yeah. Yeah?
Becoming transfixed is no longer voluntary.
Oh, Giselle followed. Thank you very much for the follow, Giselle, you bloody champion. Avast, matey! Wee scallywag.
Arr.
Giselle, we are playing a game called I Was Once, and it's a storytelling game, or a story-creating game, really. It's something I picked up on a little give a bit to charity, like a humble bundle situation. You give some money to charity, and they give you all the shit. I dropped $10 on it. 10 shiny gold Australian dollary doos, and picked up over 100 RPGs. It was ridiculous. I tell you where, but it actually is, it's not running anymore, sadly. But yeah, this was one of them. And a lot of them are like little tiny solo-y games, and I found several of them are really cool little ideas. So I've been going through them on stream, picking out the ones I think are really worth trying. And I had a go with this one already, but I wanted to play it with my lovely wife. So I did. So that's what we're doing now. We're describing a dice, actually. A dice created by the god of the forge, or the god of stone, rather, sorry.
I imagine depending on what culture you're in, it's either
They
the
had
god
a
of stone
forge.
or
That's
the
why I'm
forge
making
or...
the mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those grey areas. Like when you look... So when you do your I was raised Catholic and I did my confirmation when I was like 12. And you have to pick a saint, and
Catherine, wasn't it?
and they
You picked
Saint Anne. No, they didn't let me choose Saint Anne because there wasn't enough information on her, which I thought was the worst excuse. So it was Saint Clair actually that I picked, who didn't have a ton of information on her either, so it was bullshit. I keep dropping my pen leaf, but anyway, and they nearly always have like several things.
Yeah.
So depending on what area is like, in one area they're more known as being the patron saint of animals, whereas another area they might be the patron saint of like fertility. Depends who you ask.
See that? Just as I didn't hear the beginning, we'll wait, may get on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, basically we've got to the point where basically you create the item, which is a dice that lets you have glimpses of the future when you have to make a choice.
We have decided.
And it goes through two gods. So the god made by the god of stone, who was the first owner, who then gave it to the newly raised god of war, who has now passed it on to a man who has just become king of...
gave it to the god of luck, who gave it to the god of war.
Yeah. Sorry, the god of luck gave it to the god of war.
The new god of war. They killed the last one. The god of luck killed the god of war.
You decided.
Nice. And then the god of war, the new god of war, has just gifted it to a king of a land that he destroyed in his first act as the god of war. And a new king has arisen, a good king, a better king, that king.
One that people have selected.
Yeah.
That he is the man whose family...
You're the dude. You're the guy.
You're the dude. And he's like all reluctant and stuff. And so they So the new god of war goes down to convince him and gives him the dice and says, this will help you make decisions. And so because it has now passed into mortal hands, we have to change it slightly. So
update the drawing. We didn't do a drawing because it looks like a polyhedral dice.
It's super exciting.
Yeah, and now it's less shiny, but otherwise it's the same thing. So describe your inheritor and how they claimed you. Well, the claiming was fairly easy. You were gifted it by the god of war. And yeah, I think it's my turn to describe the inheritor.
So the inheritor is a monarch.
Yeah.
Answer the inheritor's questions. What about their kingdom were they proudest of? Were you proud of it too?
Ooh. Well, what's so the was this monarch a warrior himself, or was it a statesman? Was it a just a good person?
I think just
a leader.
I think just a natural leader.
Yeah.
So someone, maybe he was, like a farmer who also like coordinated trade and basically became super influential because he was really good at kind of sorting out complicated situations.
Actual salt of the earth as well, like worked with his hands, actually did the hard labor as well, like a fairly beefy dude, but because of hard work, not because he
can pick up a pig and throw it over a fence.
Yeah.
But, could also step in the middle of like a tavern brawl and be like, guys.
Yeah.
Guys,
Stop it. Okay?
Steve says it's his pig and Kevin says it's his pig.
I'm going to cut the pig in half. You can each have half.
It's like...
Or do you care about the pig enough that I don't do that?
I have a horrible feeling that they would just be like, okay, he gets the bacon, I get the pork chops, and we all go about our business.
It's not a baby. Well, what about their kingdom were they proudest of, and were you proud of it too? I would say how it has re-arisen. How they've rebuilt.
Yeah. Has been rebuilt after literally being razed to the ground.
All the trappings of the previous civilization are gone. Like, it is a brand new... The god of war wiped it clean. Some of the people may have remained,
but... better cultural practices now.
Yeah.
They don't salt other people's fields anymore.
Yeah. And were you proud of it too?
Oh,
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. And I would say we probably helped them. Morphs! Ooh, which game is this? This is I Was Once. It's about a 13-page PDF. I actually am not certain where you can get it, but you can probably acquire it on, what's it called? itch.io. That's where I acquired it, but itch.io, yeah, itch.io.
We got it as part of a
Bundle
Yeah.
through itch.io. I will put the link in chat.
itch.io.
Check that out there. Thanks. I haven't. No. Morphs, we are very happy to. We like interacting with our audience.
We like when chat asks questions.
Chatting.
Like, if you guys have ideas for these options, please throw them in chat.
Yeah.
I am always open to the possibility that I do not have the best idea in the room.
Yeah.
It's rare, but it happens.
So yeah, welcome, Morphs. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Keren and I are gamers, storytellers, actors, writers, performers.
Creative trash at large, as Rachel would say.
Yes. We play D&D on Monday and Thursday normally. However, basically we are having a lot of our players are busy this week, so we're just doing some solo shit because solo shit is fun as well. And in the wake of the January of the what was it called, the open gaming license controversy, we are expanding our horizons, as are an awful lot of other D&D streamers.
Because giant corporations cannot be trusted.
And the best way to show them that they can't be trusted, and they are not being trusted, is to go indie. So we are. And yeah, this one is a really nice little story generation game called I Was Once.
Basically, you end up with a magical item.
And yeah, this is the thing. You then have, at the end of it, you'll have at least a thorough backstory for a sentient magic item that you could put into a game of D&D. And there are several from the thing that I acquired that I was like, this conceptually could be really interesting for character generation or magic item generation. Loads of different things. World building. They're really some really cool world building story games.
Because world building can be hard.
And really fun if you do it right. So, we are now answering the questions about this king. That's awesome. I draw spot art and icons for maps and stuff, so this could be fun. Excellent.
Hey, do you want to work out how to draw a 13-sided dice? Because we just kind of glossed over that by saying it was magical.
This magic item is a 13-sided dice.
Like the impossible staircase of dice.
It just, yeah. They are a monarch. They are proud of the kingdom. We are proud of it too. One of your inheritors' children would have been better suited to you. Why? How did your inheritor find out about your interest, and how did they react? Oh.
Ooh.
I think the inheritor was fine with it. I think how they reacted was, it was the younger, I would say, you know how I love to fly in the face of societal norms. So the inheritor had 2 sons and a daughter, in that order. And I reckon it was the daughter that was most well suited to you. And so the inheritor named the daughter their heir, rather than either of the 2 sons. How did the inheritor find out about your interest? And why was this child better suited to you? I think you can answer those ones.
I think just say like the daughter was quite young when he became king, and he would just find her there, just sitting with it.
Yeah, right.
Communing.
Glimpsing the possible futures.
Yeah, but didn't mind because it meant she always made really good choices.
Whereas I think the sons were a little bit more
I make my own choices.
Well, also into the trappings of leadership. I think he raised them right. I think all 3 would have been a decent king or queen, but he selected her because of our interest in her. He trusted us to guide her to make better choices.
Mm. And you know how young men are, they hate taking advice.
Yeah. Unless it's what?
No.
I'm middle-aged, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, you take advice now, but God,
Oh,
giving
back
you
then,
advice
no,
early in
no,
our relationship was like trying to chisel at a brick wall with a banana, just like, ah.
True, fair enough.
Like, I'm not a manipulative person, but sometimes it was the only way to kind of get you to come around to things that were in your best interest, was just to kind of, hey, just come this way. Look over there, come over here. Look over there, come over.
What you may or may not be able to tell, chat, is that we've been together for 14 years now? 13?
It was
Is it 13 in March?
2009 we got
14.
together. So, 14 years.
Yeah, 14 years it was a couple of
In March. It was 14 years in March.
A month ago.
We've all been teenagers. Look, I've been not open to advice as well. Or at least not advice I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Don't go into the arts. It's so hard. I'll be fine. It's been really hard.
Says one of the parents who is in the arts. Of your parents.
Yeah, and I bet like our theoretical future children will be like, I want to go into the arts. And we'll be like, oh, please don't. It's so hard. And they'll be like, I have to. And we'll be like, I know, sweetie. Just try to make good choices.
My advice to any child of mine who wants to go into the arts is if you can think of anything else that you could do that instead. I've often told that to children, and the parents have looked at me quietly and go, thank you.
Or get some training in a job that you can do adjacent to it that actually pays well.
That you like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like, I think actually at some point training to be a hairdresser would have been great for me because
you're very good at it.
The limited hairdressing I've done, mainly on my own
then,
hair and the dog.
Even that,
but, you know, I've got a skill for it. I've got an interest in it. And the world will always need hairdressers. And I totally could have done that flexibly alongside becoming a creative. And I probably would have had a more financially stable life. But, you know.
So.
I was a barista and that was fine until I got RSI in both wrists and had to quit. But, you know. I'm not bitter.
During a time with them, your inheritor committed an act of mortal excellence.
Ooh!
Choose one from the list and then answer the questions.
What is an act of mortal excellence?
Your inheritor stopped a war between two powerful nations. How? What role did you play in their success? A curse swept across the kingdoms, turning people to stone. Why was your inheritor the only one who could stop it? What did you give up in exchange for their success? Your inheritor built a home, a community. Warm and loving and safe. Describe it in as much or as little detail as you'd like. What was your favorite aspect of it? I feel like the last one's the obvious choice, which is why I don't want to do it.
I kind of want to do the first.
He's a peacemaker. The person is a peacemaker. I want to say male. I feel like we've been talking about male. Yeah. How? What role did you play in their success? Ooh. His nation was caught between the two. Relatively small nation, not very powerful, deliberately doesn't have much of a standing army. And he's met the god of war. So, the inheritor offered the god of war something. And the god of offered the god of war a trade, possibly us. I will not necessarily give it back to the god of war, but I will give this up if you will come down and stop this to save my people, because my land's gonna get trampled even if we're not fighting it.
Basically, use the dice to contact the god of war.
Yeah,
and be like.
Ring, ring, ring. Hey, buddy. I need a solid. I will definitely hook you up later, but could you right now?
To intervene.
Yeah.
And protect the new kingdom. And they obliged.
Yeah. Answer an heirloom question. Heirloom question. How long did it take your inheritor to learn to speak? Oh, that one. After the first time you flicker, add these ones. The gods gave you a name that mortals cannot pronounce. What did they call you instead? Once, when you were newly set, you felt mysterious and endless. What do they feel when they touch you now?
Ooh. I like that one. I don't know what the
It's
answer
yours to
is,
answer, because I answered the last one.
You felt mysterious and endless.
Or, death of the person your inheritor loved most. After your inheritor claimed you, they had to fight for their life. How was your wisdom the key to their survival? Who do you wish had claimed you instead of your inheritor? We already know that one. How long did it take your inheritor to know how to speak to you? That was quite an interesting one as well, actually.
Maybe the dice lets them save their daughter.
Yeah?
That was all obvious, though. I want a non-obvious answer
Yeah.
to this question. This is me when I'm writing all the time, guys. I'm like, no, that's the obvious answer. What is
Yeah.
the less obvious answer?
It's a little trite. I really like that when you were newly set, you felt mysterious and endless. What do you
Yeah.
feel like when they touch you now? I don't think there's any detail necessary to add to the story other than this.
Yeah. The dice no longer feels mysterious and endless. Possibly they feel the weight of responsibility.
So it's a lot heavier than you'd think.
They have begun to feel the weight of their responsibilities. That their continued kind of power and insight is guiding the lives of so many people.
So the item itself feels this weight.
Yes.
And when people feel, when people pick you up, they can feel that weight.
Yeah, they're like,
That physical
I am
manifestation.
very responsible for
This
things.
item is very important. So as you get older, you get heavier.
Yeah.
I feel that.
The stone becomes heavier.
Yeah. Alright. That's a fucking...
See, I'm just like, this would be a great thing to do with every kind of item in a story, and I'm like, that would take so long.
Yeah, we've been at this for an hour and a half already.
We're not going to do more than one tonight.
Flicker. Now you flicker, so you change one of your traits, you modify how a birthright works, and update your heirloom again. So you flicker twice, and then you start to fade.
Right.
Change one of your traits.
Okay, so we've already changed that. Basically, it's no longer...
Now...
You might
Yawning.
become transfixed.
No, that's the trait. That's a birthright.
Oh, so it was the Ravenous Yawning Void.
Yeah.
What's a word for like heavy that's not heavy?
That's why we have the internet right here.
I love thesaurus.com. Unless you're looking up naughty words, because thesaurus.com doesn't do naughty words.
I do mean...
I think it was like word...
Weighty, hefty, substantial, large, big, massive, ponderous, solid, burdensome, overweight, bulky, dense, thick, opaque, soupy, murky, impenetrable. Leaden. Leaden's good. Dense is also good.
The dense ravenous void? The ravenous dense void sounds a bit weird.
Yeah, it does.
But dense also implies stupid, which I don't like.
The leaden void.
The ravenous leaden void. Oh.
The ravenous leaden void.
Cool.
Cool.
Put that in a t-shirt.
Now you modify how a birthright works.
Oh, so we have to do a birthright.
Yeah, we have to do one of each.
So the last time we changed that you can become transfixed if you stare too deeply.
Yeah.
Now it is basically you become transfixed for a time whenever you use it.
Yeah.
So you're like, right, I need a couple of hours. I'm gonna go stare
I'm
into
gonna
a dice
consult
for
my
a while.
dice. Yeah.
So First one is let the inheritor have glimpses of possible futures based on choices you're about to make. Roll the dice, and on a 13 you can have your choice again, but roll other than a 13 you must sacrifice the memory of a choice you once made.
Yeah.
We can change that one so
they don't get to choose the memory.
You will lose a memory.
Yeah.
And they don't. Memory.
Yeah, and they don't get to pick which.
Yeah. Roll other than a 13. A 13, and you will lose a memory, not of your choice.
Write about how your inheritor loses you or why they gave you up. Now, I feel like giving it to the daughter is the obvious choice, but I think we gave it up specifically to appease the god of war. He said, all right, this is a one-time thing, though you can't call me whenever you need a favor. You have to give up something important for this to work.
And he's like, I'm old now.
He said,
my children have learned well. And
my daughter has learned well from this. She will make a good monarch after me.
My son.
But I don't want her to have to make this choice again. I don't want her to have to give up her memories.
Yeah. Oh, basically he's lost a lot of memories by now.
Yeah.
Things in his life that he can't remember anymore, and he wants to pass that burden away from his own children because he trusts them that they will have the confidence he didn't when he became king.
Yeah. I also think when his sons didn't like the idea that they were being passed over for the daughter, he showed them the stone.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, he said, go and talk to the stone. The stone will explain. And the stone showed them a bunch of possible futures, and none of them looked quite as rosy as the little sisters. And the boys came back like, yeah, valid. Okay. Fuck.
I hate being wrong.
Stupid stone.
Stupid stone making good decisions and shit. So he has to choose someone else to give it to. Maybe he gives it to, like, an advisor to one of the other kings.
So we've got monarch, gladiator, archmage, or master. So an advisor could work for the master. And if he used it to prevent a war, he could give it to... was like, I don't want to give this to another king.
Ooh.
But
so,
one of their
you know
advisors,
how kings
possibly.
have fools, and the fool is the only person who can speak truth to the king.
That is dope, yes.
He gives it to the king's fool and basically says...
Or his daughter's fool.
His daughter's fool?
Yeah. To make sure she keeps getting good advice, but
in a way that is not
it's
direct.
not like detrimental to her. Or give it to her. I like yours too.
I kind of like the idea of moving it to a different kingdom, though.
Yeah.
So that she can't possibly find it and reclaim it.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, she doesn't need it.
She doesn't need it. I don't want her to have it because she might want her to have it. Yeah. Valid.
We all like a crutch from time to time.
Yeah. Little baby blanket.
As to the fool of the neighboring king.
On a diplomatic visit.
Yeah, neighboring king in secret.
He's like, I have a present for your fool. And he tells the fool, and the fool's like, oh.
So
wow, thanks.
The fool can
make sure you give your king good advice. Yeah. So we are handed to the master. What was the art of their choice?
Comedy!
And when did you fall in love with it?
The art of comedy. Which is a noble profession.
Yeah. Speaking truth to power. Which is kind of the point of art. They fell in love with it
because they realized that they could speak hard truths to people by making a joke out of it. And then people would laugh, and then later they'd be like, he had a point though.
Yeah.
So I did a stand-up comedy course once and had a real good time. I would love to do more stand-up, but it's just... I've already got a lot on my plate. And it is one of the most terrifying performance styles to do as well. But yeah, I found out some information I didn't particularly want to know about the funeral trade, and I'm like, this would be great material for comedy because it's the only way I could share this information without horrifying people. Probably still horrify them a bit, but you know, it's coated in this gentle layer of comedy so they can get the information without being like, ah! Like, I honestly think that's why a lot of people like taking advice from comedians. Because
This is funny.
It's a way of receiving information and advice in a way that doesn't feel like it's challenging your own kind of
Yeah.
choices in life.
Yeah. So, this is our second inheritor of the mortals, of the champions. Describe the inheritor and how they claimed you. Again, a gift. We haven't been taken from anybody yet. It's always been a gift. Describe them. I think quite young. And a foreigner to this place. Did not seek to become the ruler's fool, but wound up doing it.
Yeah.
And when, like, it was a passing thing, they were transient, they just passing through, found themselves in this position, and it was like, what I'm doing here is actually kind of important. I can actually make important changes here, do something useful and valid. So they stayed and continued to. Yeah.
And then, not long after that had happened, the king comes to them in secret while on their mission. It's like, I must give you this great gift and burden.
So their art of choice was comedy and speaking truth to power. We fell in love with it because you can speak truth to power. Their fans used to tell them that their art could make the gods stop in their tracks. Did you think that this was true? Did you ever tell them your opinion? Ooh.
I think they didn't believe it was true.
Yeah.
But that they would never tell them that. That they would, like, super play into it and be like, yes, my jokes can make even the gods reconsider their most well thought out decisions. Well, in their head, they're like, yeah, like a god's ever going to listen to me. And then they end up with this magical dice that can give them advice.
And the magical dice is like, actually, the gods probably, like, I haven't spoken to one in a while, but
they probably would listen to you, actually. You make good choices.
You have good points. You're just a Naismith. It's always a good thing to have somebody disagree with you. Even a god needs a dissenting voice.
And it's when you see people become super, like, wealthy and influential, and you can kind of track when they start being told no, or that's a bad idea, or maybe you shouldn't do that.
All you need to do is look at, if you've got all 7 Harry Potter books, you can tell at what point people stopped telling JK no.
Where the editor stops saying, no, you've got to cut that out. That's useless. We don't need, like, chapters on this.
And JK was like, nah.
I'm keeping it.
I'm creating this world, and if you don't like it, I'll go to a different publisher. It's why Azkaban was the best, because it was easily the best edited.
Yeah, it was tight, really nailed down the style.
Yeah.
It's such a shame what happened to that. Oh, God. But Tomorrow When the War Began, that series by John Marsden did exactly the same thing. You watch those books get fatter and fatter, and you're just like, I'm bored now.
Clan of the Cave Bear.
Oh, my God, Clan of the Cave Bear. By the last one, there was no plot.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's 700 pages of tea ceremonies and looking at paintings.
And the occasional sex.
Fuck. But not even. They stopped.
Barely had any
Hey,
sex.
Chaotic Goblin. Good to see you. How are you, buddy?
We're doing well. We're ranting about how sometimes series go downhill.
Editors need to step in.
A number of series, actually, now I'm thinking about it, where their last one has been, like, really disappointing. It's just... Yeah.
It's because the editor either did drop the ball or simply could not speak truth to power.
Yes. As a creative, you must never get so powerful that people aren't afraid to critique you.
And it can be really hard, because I imagine part of it was just like, no, they're so great, they're so good at this, we don't need to tell them to shut up. We could publish whatever trash they write and people will buy it.
For those of you who've watched Glass Onion, there's the scene at the beginning where the guy, I can't remember his name. he's talking to the board members about Edward Norton's character, whose name I also can't remember, and he's like, he sends me like a million ideas a day, and it's hard to tell which one's going to be the one that is actually like changing the world. And I'm like, oh yeah, everyone needs a filter.
Yeah.
I think I've said to more than one friend of mine, if I have become an insufferable asshole, please tell me.
Slap you. Like, I'm just thinking about all of my favorite book series. All of the best ones, the books didn't get longer as the series progressed. They stayed about the same level. They stayed about the same length. Every now and again, you got a particularly long one, and then it got shorter again. Like, they always varied, but kept within a certain thing. Actually, the Honor books are getting longer and longer every fucking time. David Weber.
Why do some people always write stupid long books and pull it off? Brandon Sanderson writes really long books, and I don't have a problem with that.
But he's written
he's very freaking consistent.
Yeah. He wrote through the 3 the 3 Starborn ones. All 3 are the same fucking length. All right.
There's so much to like about that guy. I'm just like, you can.
And he can write short stories too. Answer an heirloom question. We don't know. During the time with him, the inheritor committed an act of mortal excellence,
which is a phrase I love.
It's great.
Like, your inheritor committed an act of mortal excellence.
A curse swept through the kingdoms. Interesting. Your inheritor built a home, a community, warm, loving, and safe. You see, the only one that really makes sense with what we've got is stopped a war.
But we've already done that one.
The curse, though, I could see the curse working.
Yeah.
Curse swept across the kingdoms, turning people into stone. I think we could possibly change what the curse does and is. But
given who made the dice originally...
The stone makes sense, actually. Yeah. Oh, Keren, you do it then. Yours.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Curse sweeps the kingdom, turning people to stone, and no one can work out how to stop it. Has
the god of stone become insane?
Ooh. Maybe they're going through a mental health crisis.
And the fool is able to talk them down.
Yeah, and basically says to the dice and says, hey, do you know what's going on? And he's like, so...
The dice shows them how to get to the realm of the gods, and the fool goes and talks the god of stone down.
Yeah.
That's fucking hardcore. Glad I put the 18 plus up.
That's nothing too bad, is it?
No, it wasn't too heavy.
We should be talking to children about mental health. Big man.
I've also said fuck several times.
That's only a problem in America. Sorry.
Where a lot of our audience is.
Sorry, guys. We're Australians. We drop the F word.
We swear.
We swears.
Said a naughty swear.
Goes a bit mad and people are turning to stone.
Chaotic Goblin is like me, 18 times 2.
I'm
old enough to drink twice, and I do. Answer an heirloom question. We just did that. Flicker. You flicker 3 times.
Remember the gods. And knock the goddess stone down. Honestly, the concept of, like, immortal beings going insane really resonates for me. I'm like, eternity is a terribly long time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ideas for a story was about someone who was immortal and freaking hated it. It's like, it never ends. It keeps going.
And it's been done a few times now, like in the Doctor Who. I like the concept of you weren't born for this. Like in eternity is a massive thing to bear for someone who wasn't born to it.
Cool. So Flicker, we have to change one of our traits. So we are currently the Ravenous Leaden Void. Unless we call it the Maddening Leaden Void.
Ooh, maddening. Yeah.
Because it's taking your memory one by one.
Yeah. I like that. Maddening Leaden Void. Don't know why anyone would want the Maddening Leaden Void. Ooh, gimme, gimme, gimme! Is it nice? Yes, actually, it's a lovely friend.
Maybe the next person to have it will take it by force.
Ooh. Yeah.
Modify how a birthright works or changes it completely. I think this is a great point to change it from glimpses of the future to just a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's about to fade.
Yeah.
Write about how your inheritor loses you or why they chose to give you up. I reckon it becomes too much for them.
Sorry, it is your turn. So, yeah.
I don't know. If you've got...
They could get murdered.
They spoke truth to the wrong person.
Power got killed.
Yeah, they were killed.
They were struck down by someone.
They were sent by an angry... Like a nobleman. They were sent... A murderer was sent by an angry nobleman. Or one of the king's sons.
I don't think his sons. Maybe. Actually, that makes total sense. That the king dies, he speaks truth.
The fool is telling the old king at this point, hey, his son's a bit of a dickhead.
For the wrong power.
Yeah.
Slags off the air. In brackets, rightfully.
Yeah.
And he murders him.
Or it's like, and his first thing he does as the new king is like, you're no longer my fool. Off with his head.
Kill him.
Yeah. Slay him now, please. And
I came to slay.
the king. Yeah. So.
And no one knows what it is, so it is
discarded. Ooh. Okay. Crumble and fade. They have taken too much from you. You are no longer fit for use, so they discard you. You crumble, barely able to hold on to your last sparks of power and begin to fade. Describe how the champions of the mortal world discover your waning magic and how they discard you into the hands of the mundane. I don't think it was necessarily... It was discarded, but not deliberately. I reckon...
They just didn't realize what it was.
I reckon all of the fool's possessions were sent back to his family where he came from.
Yes, by a sympathetic person at court.
Like, yeah. The mother. The Queen Mother. Select a trait. It is no longer true for you. When you fade. A demon worshipper? A child. Oh, it must be a child. I love that. Or an old mage, a herbalist.
Ugh. You know, think about old-timey jobs that would have been kind of cool. Being a herbalist would have been really fun. Just have a herb garden, give it to people.
Yeah.
Feeling sad? Here's some rosemary. Feel better. Then you get burned.
So, strike a trait. Oh, we haven't faded yet. Crumble and fade.
So we've begun
and
to fade.
begin to fade.
But we haven't faded yet.
When you fade. So we don't do that yet.
No.
Describe the inheritor and how they claimed you.
So maybe it's like they're like niece or nephew.
So the inheritor's a child, an old mage, a herbalist, or a demon worshipper. I like niece or nephew, yeah. What are we going with? Herbalist, old mage, or child? It's not demon worshipper, unless they become one. Ooh. Could it be demon worshipper and you inadvertently lead them down the wrong path? They see glimpses but misinterpret and wind up worshipping a demon.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like the fool's cousin. Or
Yeah.
the fool's cousin takes the stone, which is dull now and no one realizes that it's important.
Yeah. Thinks it's just a dice. They have a gambling habit.
It's important, and they like to gamble. don't know how they're going to lose the stone now.
Answer the inheritors' questions. Hey, Small Town Creepy. Good to see you, my dear.
Morning.
I will be going through Creepy's games tomorrow evening.
Ooh, exciting.
Small Town Creepy sent me a couple of short RPG, solo RPG games that I will be having a look at tomorrow. Definitely one of them. One of them is a little long, but one I will definitely have a look at both of them. But I'm definitely going to have a look at the one of them tomorrow evening, which is going to be exciting and fun. Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome, darling. We are back having another look at I Once Was, Small Town Creepy, creating an ongoing narrative about a fading magic item created by the God of Stone.
Basically, you answer a series of questions to create its history and properties. And we are in the third stage where it is fading. So its power wanes and it is no longer in the hands of the powerful and influential. It is now being picked up by the cousin of the king's fool.
Yeah, after the fool was killed by a displeased heir.
They're a gambler. It's shaped like a dice. No one else wants it. They're like,
fuck yeah, 13-sided dice. Don't know how that works. The Lore Riders raiding.
Laura.
Hey, Raiders' favorite raider boats up in chat, everybody. Raid. Pew, 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 pew,
Unleash
pew.
the geese.
You mess
We
with
need
the
to
honk,
play
you get the...
Untitled Goose Game at some point. I really want to try it. I want to be an angry goose terrorizing a quiet village.
Who doesn't?
What a way to live.
We've been picked up by a demon worshipper, we're writing the ongoing narrative of that Lorite and Lorite's Raiders. Thank you for joining us, guys. How are you? How did the game go? For those of you who do not know them, the Lorite is an excellent individual who I will be playing with on Friday night.
Yay! Hype.
Lorite. They were playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Ooh. That's the Greek one, yes? So, Arthur? Yes. The goose. Yeah. Untitled Goose Game. Yeah. Mess with the honk and you get the bonk. Game went great. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. I will be over on the Lore's channel on Friday night for their 2-year, I want to say, affiliate-versary. We'll be playing a 5e one-shot. I will be playing Chincinci, let's say, Monk Druid Cross, level 10 Monk Druid Cross, and they are a shapeshifter. A changeling, that's the one. Yeah. Yes, the Greek one. We are about halfway through the tutorial islands. Cool. Sounds great. We are just beginning the third stage of It I Once Was. So you are joining at an interesting time. We have been found. We are a magic item, a dice with a little cloudy center in it that was created to be a sort of symbol of luck and knowledge and foresight. And we are slowly fading, and we've just been found by a demon worshipper, or somebody we think became a demon worshipper because they picked us up and misinterpreted shit that we were saying because we're not as powerful as we used to be.
Yeah. We can only give them a sense of what choices they should make now.
Does the being they worship actually exist? And if so, have you met them?
Whose turn is it?
Describe the inheritor and how they claimed you. We sort of did that together, so either of us.
Oh, rock, paper, scissors, you put choice.
Really? Well, if you've got an idea, do so.
I don't. So.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't think we've met them. In fact, I really like the idea that the being doesn't exist.
The demon they worship does not exist.
I reckon it's an aspect of themselves, maybe?
Yes. It's a manifestation of what they want in a god.
Yeah. Why did your inheritor turn away from the divine, and why could you not help but agree with them?
Maybe this person has really shitty luck.
Yeah. Like, even when they roll you. Ooh. Even when they roll you, they very rapidly run out of happy memories. and you are content to take the sad ones from them. And given that we know the god of luck, we're like, wow, you really shat on this guy. But we also know that the god of luck is impartial in it. But
yeah, but you meet someone and you're like, wow.
Yeah, that was not fun.
Chance really took a dump on you,
and it's and that's why we're like sort of on their side about it. It's like, whilst we know that the god of luck exists and is impartial, in this instance, like every now and again, you meet somebody who like, wow, I really feel like the god of luck shouldn't be impartial sometimes. Like every now and again, someone deserves a break. Yeah.
Yeah. Which feels really good to be able to do something nice for someone who's been having a shitty time.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling when you're just like, hey, you've had a shit time, but there's something I can do for you, and I will.
Yeah.
And that's what the dice is trying to do.
That's very cool. So during your time with them, your inheritor committed an act of human stillness. Choose one from the list and answer the questions. An act of human stillness. Your inheritor and you spent a night watching the stars. What did they say to you? What did they say to your inheritor? What did you say to each other? I love that. Your inheritor loved someone very much, romantically or platonically. What aspect of their relationship was unique to them despite the millennia you have existed? Ooh, these are good. They could brew a cup of tea at the same time. They would brew a cup of tea at the same time every day. Describe their process, including the time of day and the type of tea they used. Oddly specific, given the previous two. But very cool. Like it. All of those are good. I like the stars.
After a spectacularly awful night gambling, they lay awake all night staring at the sky.
I think they lost their house. They didn't have anywhere to sleep.
I don't think they were in a house. I think they gambled their money ways they couldn't afford to stay anywhere.
Yeah.
Perpetually unlucky people don't own houses.
All are good, though. The T1 could be part of the demon worship ritual. Ooh, yeah.
Good thought.
What's the demon do?
I think it's they want it to be like a demon of cunning. That they can't be lucky, they can at least be cunning.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're not very cunning
But they're just not that either. Yeah. That's rough. So, we're doing the stars. What did they say to you? What did they say to the inheritor? What did the stars say to you? I reckon this is the last time the gods spoke to us. And I reckon it was the last time the god of luck spoke to us. But you decide what they said.
Sometimes you have to make your own luck.
Yeah.
I just accidentally quoted Batman.
Hard to come up with. Nothing new under the sun.
Hey, Dan would be proud of me.
Yeah. What did they say to you? Sometimes you have to make your own luck. I think that's what they said to your inheritor. Sometimes you have to make your own luck.
Maybe it says, I thought you were supposed to be lucky. And the dice is like, I'm very old, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not as lucky as I used to be.
What did you say to the god?
Why have you forsaken?
Why have you forsaken this guy? I know why you've forsaken me. But the thing with luck is that it's fair. And this has not been. I think I just inadvertently quoted Batman as well, actually. I think that was a Two-Face line. The thing about luck is that it's fair.
Bollocks. The trouble is, nothing exists in a void. So
Chance.
someone's luck.
I think it was chance.
Chance is fair.
Yeah.
Because luck is dependent on many factors outside your control.
I think sometimes luck is mislabeled as well.
Yeah, because some people, particularly successful people, get very defensive about you saying that they got lucky because they're like, no, I worked really hard and I made smart
It's like, no,
decisions.
no, no, you were born that way. Your luck happened at conception.
Well, I think it's more that you can, make really good choices and work really hard and still not get anywhere.
And still be lucky. Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
because things haven't panned out, you didn't meet the right person at the right time who gave you the right opportunity, and you always meet someone and you're like, why is this your life?
In the acting profession, it could be as little as you were unlucky enough to be a blonde.
And they wanted a
Or
brunette.
they didn't want somebody with a nasty scar there. So you got unlucky 8 years ago when you got injured that way. Or, yeah. Your big break could have been that if not for a bad accident you had. Or you missed the train. Or the bus showed up early that day.
Or maybe someone shouted at you on the street and you were really rattled when you went in and flubbed the audition.
Yeah.
And then they cast someone who looks exactly like you and you're like...
Yeah.
This is worried.
Do we sound bitter?
I try not to view it as bitterness anymore, just kind of that...
Or disabled chronic pain person. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
As a disabled chronic pain person. Yeah, you got unlucky.
Yeah, I tried really hard not to get COVID, and I did anyway, and now
A year later...
I'm still kind of messed up from it, so...
Only had it the once. In August.
June,
yeah.
Yeah, it's nearly a year.
Fuck. Anyway.
That's fine. I'm sure they'll find a cure.
Because they're looking real hard. Answer an heirloom question. Go all the way back up to the heirloom playbook. So now we've faded. We get to answer these ones as well. You could have saved your inheritor had you been yeah. What vital thing had you lost? How did you try to save them anyway? Oh, that plays perfectly with what we just did. Yeah. I mean, what was the other one? Who was your wisest inheritor, and why was your latest a pale imitation of them? No, definitely. I mean, both are good.
Because it takes time to consult the dice now.
Yeah.
Really doesn't consult them as often.
Yeah. And they made one bet too many. And this person took them. And yeah, we could have shown them what the truth was, how the role would have gone. That's cool. What I like about a lot of these is that they sort of every now and again, or I like about that time how it takes time to consult it now. Yeah. And now we fade. We lose a trait and a birthright. They're just gone. Strike a trait. I think I don't want to take Ravenous out.
It's not Ravenous anymore. It's the Maddening Leaden Void.
Ooh.
It's the Maddening Void.
The Maddening Void or the Leaden Void?
The Leaden Void.
I think the Maddening Void.
Yeah? Sorry. The Maddening Void? Yeah.
Yeah. Luck changes hands in unexpected ways. Maybe they relied on it too much and it fell out of their hands. Yeah? I think just because of the conversation they had with the stars and each other, I think what happened is the inheritor went and tried to make their own luck and started cheating. And got caught. And we could have predicted that they would. We could have said, don't. But we're not at full strength.
Can't help you.
Yeah. What birthright is lost?
So the birthrights as current. You can have a sense of what choice will work out the best for you. If you roll a 13 on the dice, you can make a choice again. But if you don't roll a 13, you have to sacrifice a memory to the dice, which you can no longer choose. It will just pick one for you.
Yeah.
Stare too deeply into the void, and basically you every time you use it, you become transfixed for a time.
Yeah.
So we lose one of those.
I think we can't change things anymore. I think that makes the most sense. As something that's running out of power, we can't reverse stuff.
Yeah. Can no longer have your choice.
Alright, there is a guy outside trying to move sand with a leaf blower. The leaf blower makes a very loud, piercing, shrill noise. Yay! What fun!
Why would someone do that?
I don't know about current the UK, but I do not remember leaf blowers until I moved to Australia. They are very popular here, and they irritate the fuck out of me. Because with the same amount of effort, you could just sweep and then remove instead of wafting leaves. And the reason is the groundskeepers at the school I was at were very fond of them. Loved going up and down outside fucking classroom windows while I'm trying to concentrate. Some really big trees outside the maths department particularly. I'm like, dude, do this outside the art room, would you? We can put on some music. In maths, I kind of got to have my brain working. I'm like, or, I don't know, do it outside of school hours, you prick. Yeah. So, birthright and trait, gone and gone. Write about how your inheritor loses you or why they give you up. I think they're killed.
They're killed again?
I hate when, because of noise, but also so many people use them to blow leaves and grass onto the road, which is dangerous for
That's the
bikers.
thing. It's not eliminating the problem. It's making it someone
Just
else.
moving it. Like, sweep it up. And then, because this is even worse, they didn't then, they don't waft it into a pile and then remove said pile. They just waft it somewhere else.
They just waft it off their lawn. Somewhere else. Like a prick.
Let's make it someone else's problem. Yeah.
And the only person you should inflict your problems on is your future self.
And your spouse. What? All the sand left from sanding walkways is being removed now, and the guy is just moving the sand onto the lawn.
I suppose that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
On the lawn.
I guess. All right. How do we reckon? I reckon after the thing didn't work and he had his thumbs broken or something, he's like, "I'm done with you," and he eats you away.
Yeah.
And I like to think that was him quitting. He's like, I'm done. And actually, it did turn his life around. He stopped relying on luck and started trying, and actually started just like, I'm just going to try working hard instead.
He tries working hard instead of luck.
I drew up a 13-sided dice. Ha! Yes, you can.
Please join our Discord and drop it in there. We would love to see it.
Usually there is a day for leaf pickup. Oh, yeah.
We have green bins in Australia.
Unfortunately, the lorite is in Sweden. I don't necessarily know if that's true.
Green bins?
Discord.
Yeah.
I'd have thought so.
Because we put the
Candy country is very good for that.
We put the rabbit's dirty hay in the green bin, which is not against the rules at all, but it's just a little bad.
Green waste.
Pretty gross.
I actually don't anymore.
Yeah?
No, I just throw it on the garden.
Yeah, it's when we run out of garden to spread it on, really.
I've got a lot of garden.
I don't want to say that this guy has a great life after he eats the dice away.
But he has a better life. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Thamio! Yeah, Creepy lives rural and just uses it as compost. They're like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Alright.
And someone finds us.
Yes. When you run out of traits and birthrights, move on to the epilogue. So when you fade... so then you go back and do it again. Describe the inheritor and how they claimed us. An old mage, a child, or a herbalist. I like the child. Finds it on the street the following day.
A child finds the dice.
Love how y'all say compost.
How do we say compost? Instead of compost?
Compost?
Compost.
Compost.
Compost. Compost.
Compost.
Compost. That's how the fancy people say it. Oh yes, I'm
my compost.
Like kombucha.
My worm garden.
We say it Compost.
Compost.
Ah,
Compost. Compost?
interesting.
Okay.
I love it. I was listening to a podcast today and they had a brief tangent on about how you're not pronouncing something wrong, you're just saying it with a different accent. I'm like, oh, yes. Because Australians, we say water with a d instead of a t.
Water. Water?
Water. Do you want some water?
You want some water, mate? Water, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels natural if I do it with an Aussie. I
like the child.
Yeah. Yeah. Show me the baby. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Where is the baby? There's the baby.
She's asleep in her bed. She was washed and sheared today, so she looks very cute.
Yeah.
But we must let the sleeping dog lie.
I will never forget the last time I had to shovel snow for my parents. I spent 2 hours moving about half a meter of snow from the 2-car wide driveway. Then I heard a small engine starting and a cloud of snow blows up from the neighbor's driveway onto me, the driveway, and my parents' car. And that was when you were convicted of murder, right?
You killed them, right?
You killed them, as they deserved.
You took that shovel and you matched their brain.
And the judge understood. Lol, my grandpa used to say zinc instead of sink because of where she grew up. Oh, okay. Alright. Fresh baby dog, yeah.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's looks much more like, so she looks more like my dog. Now, she was very shaggy.
She looks more like a rug the longer you leave her.
Yeah.
If she perks up, we'll make her get on camera, but she's asleep.
She's asleep and we like to leave her that way.
She's been shouting at the neighbours again.
So, this child. I want a little girl.
Yeah.
Also, I think the child should be a little girl.
A little girl. Maybe her family's very poor, and so she's not always supervised.
Yeah.
So she sometimes...
I reckon her mum and dad have a market stall.
Mm.
And she's just sort of playing in the street next to the market stall while mum and dad are running the thing. They do okay, but...
They're not rich people.
They are, yeah. And she finds a shiny rock that talks to her.
Yeah.
And how they claimed you. Yep, found us in the street. Where were they born? Where were they raised? What is beautiful about that? Never gone bad in a horror movie, I'm sure. How did their hope make you stronger? How did your despair corrupt them? Oh, wow. Holy shit. I changed my mind. I don't want to do the child anymore.
Oh, here we go. I stalked inside, threw a small tantrum, and my dad went over to talk to the neighbours because I would have caused an international incident. I've gone. After about half an hour, I hear scraping his shovel against stone, and lo and behold, neighbour's son is shoveling the driveway with a fist up.
Hey, dude, my daughter just did that, and you just ruined it.
You just blew snow.
Can you fix it, please?
And they were like, I'm not going to fix it, but I'll make my kid do it. I'm really glad that we don't have to shovel snow in Perth.
Yeah.
We just have to clean like the dust and debris from the wind.
About every 3 weeks or so, I have to get in the pool and vacuum the dust, the sand out of it.
Because we're close to the ocean, and the sand from the dunes just gets everywhere.
And the creepy crawly isn't powerful enough to get it.
It's not strong enough to suck it up.
Oh,
and if the garden is left untended, it gradually grows dune, kind of scrubby dune bushes everywhere.
Yeah.
It was the kid who had done it, so the kid had to deal with it
Ah,
without
okay.
using his fancy snowblower. Oh, that's legendary.
Nice.
Good parenting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much more approved now. Okay. Where were they born? I don't want to name the city. I don't think that matters.
Maybe they were born in. Maybe it's a little town, and they were born there. They were raised.
We can
there.
describe the
Lots of travellers come through.
Yeah. Market town. I'm imagining sort of semi like sub desert.
Mm.
Like very sunny, sandy underfoot, oasis city, oasis town sort of thing.
Yeah. On the edge of the desert. Very cold at night.
Yeah. What is beautiful about it? Savannah. Yes, exactly. Statelist. Am I pronouncing that right? Stalist?
Stylist.
Yeah.
I think so.
Um,
Like the last roll in the bag.
what was beautiful about it?
Ooh, the mirage on the desert is always
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like heat mirage.
Yeah?
You get it on the roads a lot if you're driving in summer. You
Yeah.
get the one, like, it's dangerous as well, but it's very pretty.
Yeah. I think also the energy of the place. As this old thing, it likes the energy of the new.
There's always new things coming through.
How did their hope make you stronger? Because we can still show glimpses of the future, can't we?
Oh, they get a sense. Like,
Yeah.
if you do that, that'll be a better outcome than that.
And
Oh, because kids still believe in magic and goodness.
yeah, and I think it's that. I think that's why we were able to connect with them at all. And we were barely able to affect anything, but we occasionally were able to make changes for them. And I think that's what the hope came from. Like, we can actually still do good. We can actually still achieve positive things, because the last guy really ruined us. And how did your despair corrupt them?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, you do get transfixed
Yeah.
by it for a time, and possibly the child finds that very unsettling.
Or distracting.
My kid said his favorite part. Did
I always wondered, if he still does that. Yeah, that's cute.
a gig Josh did as a pirate earlier this year? A couple of the kids asked specifically for Josh the pirate to come to their birthday party, which was very, very cute.
I did a what's it called? A treasure hunt in the city in the cultural center in Perth, and it ends with a couple of mermaids in a lake, a pond really, a couple of the kids had such a great time that it was organized and run by the mermaids, and one particularly, and it was her business that was doing it all, and she does birthday parties. And Jessie got in contact with me about a week later saying they'd been messaged specifically requesting not the mermaids for this birthday party, but a pair of twins, a boy and a girl, wanted Josh the pirate for their birthday party instead. She said, I don't normally do pirate parties, but I'm sure we could put something together if you're down. And I said, oh yeah, hell yeah, hit me up. I love doing kids' birthday parties. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize. I'd love to have you do more of this. I never asked you before because I thought it was beneath you. And I'm like, that's sweet of you, and I'm flattered. I used to teach this person. She is now an adult and has a business.
A very nicely grown up adult.
And we're very proud of the minimal involvement we had in her growing up. And I said to her, honey, it is beneath me, but I do a lot that's beneath me, but I need to eat.
So it's fun. Mostly.
Yeah. Between you and Bluey, my kid is ready to move to Australia. Bluey is great. Bluey is one of the best children TV characters. Bluey is lovely. Much better than Peppa fucking Pig.
Even got a nice theme tune.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we die-hard Bluey fans in this house. Would.
Bluey is an Australian export to be proud of.
Yeah.
It's like that.
That I never watched because I did not grow up here.
Oh, Bluey is like relatively recent.
Oh, it's okay.
It's only like...
It's like the Wiggles. Never heard of them. Didn't have them in the UK.
The Wiggles, though. Oh yeah, it's new. Yeah. It's relatively recent. Like, it was definitely after I was a kid. But I know...
Apparently, Peppa Pig is 7'1".
What? What is she, like a genetically modified pig?
No, some pigs are huge, but like Peppa Pig is a baby.
Tall.
Yeah, it's 7 foot long is big for a pig. That's terrifying. How did you find that out? What were you doing where you acquired that piece of information?
We had a quiz night, and they were like, "How tall is Pepper the Pig?" And you looked it up, and you're like,
7
That
foot
sounds like
one.
someone who had to come up with an answer on the spot and just said 7 foot tall.
Googling
That's
this.
horrifying.
How tall?
There's a horror movie concept right there. A 7 foot
Pig.
tall pig.
What? 7 feet 1.
Some sources reported Peppa Pig to be 7 feet 1 inches tall, or 3'9", depending on what source you look at. I'm like, there's a big difference between 3'9".
Citing the internet as a source. Okay. However, the website. How tall is Mummy Pig then? 5'9". Yeah.
So Peppa Pig just towers over her mother. I like this better. This is now canon.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
Oh yeah, adding that to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honeycomb.
Oh, it was an April 1st thing, but it is funny. Yeah, she's really 3'9". Yeah. Okay. 3'9" is still quite tall.
One of my favorite April Fool's pranks was this feminist group or women's rights group, something of that genre, and they posted a fake job listing asking they needed to bring a man on staff to review their public statements to make sure they weren't accidentally offending any men. And the number of men in the comments on this post being like, I would be happy to help you girls out. I think what you do is great. I'd be proud to be a part of the team. And I'm just like, oh guys, it's April 1st. They don't actually want a man to vet their content.
You just failed. You did not vet their content. I'm not shouting, Morphs. That is the correct answer. It is all caps locks. The capitalization is important, I think.
3'9" pig is still not one to tangle with.
Yeah, pigs are fierce.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how that guy died in Game of Thrones. He got gored by a pig.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it, Morphs? It's an interesting one.
Anyway, so how did your despair corrupt them?
Yeah, and it's yours because I answered the last one.
Okay.
I love that I thought this would take an hour.
Cute. It's like, yeah, it'll
That's
take an
adorable.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, what time
Didn't even finish the gods by the end of the first hour.
No. It's like we are the deities of taking too long to do things.
Well, also we just we've rambled somewhat.
We have.
I gave a potted history of Taoist deities.
I will say Father Dragon, Mother Hydra can be really short.
Noted.
Okay. How did your despair corrupt them?
That's one of the ones Creepy sent me. Father Dragon, Mother Hydra.
Oh, gotcha. I think that basically the way your nature works right now, that it takes some time and you don't get a really clear sense of what the outcome of the choice is going to be, possibly is kind of frustrating to them.
And, distracted them.
Yeah.
They became not a particularly, attentive child.
Power becomes confusing and distracting.
Could you be more hungry? You start taking memories without giving anything in exchange.
You're distracting. You take memories by accident.
And you give her short-term amnesia. Take out the trash in a minute. Simply does not. You've just got a normal teenager there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's basically every child if you tell them to do something they don't actually want to do. Yeah.
But as she genuinely forgot, as in she never actually has the memory of it. Yeah, interesting.
I've had conversations with people where they are adamant they've told me something, and I'm like,
I don't think you did that.
Okay, during your time with them, your inheritor committed an act of human stillness. Choose one from the list.
Love someone very much, romantically or platonically. What aspect of their relationship was unique to them despite the millennia you have existed? I like that one for this kid.
I think that they experience first love.
Oh, yeah.
Youthful first love.
Yeah.
That they've never had before. because everyone they'd been passed on was already grown and kind of had that milestone.
Yeah. That's cute. Yeah. Of all of your inheritors.
Yeah. You never had a young'un before.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound creepy.
Yeah, no. No one clip that.
There's many things that could be taken out of context and would become horrifying.
Yeah. Answer an heirloom question. Got access to all of them. Don't you dare, creepy. Yeah.
It's like when they make those supercuts of like celebrities saying weird shit.
Yeah.
While singing, Queen.
Who was your wisest inheritor, and why was your latest a pale imitation of them? You could have saved your inheritor. The gods gave you a name that mortals cannot pronounce. Once, when you were newly set, you felt mysterious and endless. What do you feel like now? You saw the death of the person your inheritor loved most, whether it was written in the future or in the patterns of the past. Could you save them?
Or if we could go back to how long did it take your inheritor to know how to speak to you?
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. That's very cool for this one.
I think it took a while, like a year.
Yeah, at least. I don't think we really got sort of... I think she learned what we did fairly early. But it took her a long time to actually learn to ask questions. And I think it's at least partially because we're nowhere near as strong as we used to be. And then we fade. And I want to say that we lose the ability to show the future at all, and it's just this yawning portal of memory. And how does the inheritor lose us? We told them to. We told them to throw us away because we can't show them anything good anymore.
So we're just the void now.
We are just the void.
We're the void, can no longer
We only consume.
give advice. We only transfix and accidentally drain them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lose a trait, we lose a birthright.
Yeah.
And then we go... technically speaking, you do one more. When you run out of traits and birthrights, move on to the epilogue, which is why you have 3. So you do this, you fade 3. But I don't want to.
I think we've reached a natural point to go on to the epilogue.
Because the epilogue, I haven't read yet. Your fate catches up with you. Your magic is gone. Once you bestowed unimaginable power upon the strongest of gods, now you are cold, inert, and hollow. The end of the story does not eradicate its contents. The loss of your magic does not remove the impact you've had on the world. You were once a thing of wonder, and that is enough. To the player, put away the materials you used to play the game. Breathe into the real world. Wish your heirloom good night. I have an ending for this, if you don't mind. The God of Stone. She throws you away. She throws you into the river. No, she throws you into the desert.
Yeah, we lie in the desert sand.
And the God of Stone finds us there. He comes for us. Knowing that which he created is now almost gone. And he pours into us the memories of his insanity. And we make him truly sane again. And then he throws us into the sky. And we become a dark star. A black hole. A place for the gods to put dangerous things they don't want anymore.
That's very cool.
We become the recycle bin of the universe, but it's a good thing.
become a dark star, a black hole. Where things can be cast away.
Safely. Yeah.
The end.
The end. It's a cool game.
That's very cool. Breathe in the real world. Do I have to?
Oh, I love that note at the end. Don't eradicate the good. Yeah, adding this to my playlist.
Yeah.
Creepy, it's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, it was from itch.io. I was once. We got it as part of a bundle, but hopefully you can just buy it on
there. Yeah, can strongly endorse. Good fun. Yeah.
Honestly, that's a really good creative writing exercise.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a bit of writer's block.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, writer's block is a hell of a thing to get around, and yeah. And working with somebody else, having somebody else to bounce off is also really like, this is why we did this together.
Yeah.
It's fun to do this sort of stuff together.
Find a buddy.
Yeah.
Or just use your cat. Should I wake this?
No, she's asleep. Cool beans. Well, we should go and raid somebody now, shouldn't we? And we should raid, I think, our stream team buddies, Eldritch Scribe, because we are now members of the Rolling Together stream team, which is really cool.
So we're like best buddies with a bunch of other streamers now.
Yeah, we were invited. The wonderful John from Phoenix Iwaki put us up for it, and it's really cool. I have to bounce y'all around this weekend. Tavernaut is doing a charity RPG-a-thon for Ukraine, and I'm going to be in on it.
Aww.
Amazing! Tavernaut, yeah, cool. Let me just...
Note of that.
Tavernaut.
Good name. I like to think you just...
Tavernaut. Dutch IT nerd by day. That one. Does look rather like it. There's a D20 as their logo. I will chuck them a sneaky follow so I can see when they go live.
We'll keep an eye out.
Noted.
See if we can drop
Thanks very much, Creepy.
I have this feeling I'm doing something this weekend, but I can't remember what it is. Hope it wasn't important.
That's the one? Awesome. Nailed it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if anyone wants to support Ukraine on the weekend, you can head over there.
Morphs, thank you very much for the follow, you bloody champion.
Yay.
Avast, matey, you wee scallywag.
May your booty be full of swag.
May your swag be full of booty.
May your swag be booty-ish.
Bootyful.
I don't know what it
Bootyful.
I had so little sleep.
Alrighty, well, Keren, tell me who the absolute heck you've been.
Hi, I'm Keren, otherwise known as the Mother of Bunnies. You can find me on the Twitter at Mother of Bunnies, where I retweet cute bunny pictures and occasionally get mad about things. Or you can listen to me in the D&D podcast, There Be Dragons. You can find it anywhere and you prefer to podcast. Or you can follow my burlesque alter ego, Miss Lola Moore, over on Instagram. And if you are in Perth, I actually have a few burlesque gigs coming up. Performing this Sunday at the Rosemount Hotel. Completely forgotten the name of the show. I think it's Lights, Camera,
Burlesque? Sounds about right, yeah.
Sounds right. It's at the Rosemount Hotel this Sunday at 7 p.m. So hopefully that gives you enough information to find it. Or go look at my Instagram, I'll share shit. And then I'm at Next Level Burlesque show on 6th of May. And then I'm performing in Miss Burlesque Australia in June, which is still a ways off.
Hamburinator successfully followed as well.
I like that name too. The craft beer of RPG. Yes, I am a busy lady. My brain just started writing a list full of things I have to do this week. But yes, that is me. That is who I am. Josh, who are you?
And Madame et Monsieur, Dame und Herren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife, the Mother of Bunnies. I will be here tomorrow night looking at more TTRPGs, including one by the wonderful Small Town Creepy, probably looking at the Dragon and the Hydra. Mother Dragon, Father Dragon, Mother Hydra, I think is the name. I'll definitely have a look at least one of them, probably that one. But I want to have a look at some more, spreading my joys around. And then on Wednesday night, the marvelous Lawwright herself, Kate O'Sullivan, will also be joining us. Terrace Soteris will be joining, and Malika Moon will all be back for more Teens in Space! The finale of our little two-shot Teens in Space extravaganza exploration into other systems. Teens in Space, so much fun. If you are wanting a system and a group of people to watch who will make your face hurt from laughing so much, join us on Wednesday night, would you? Thursday night is a maybe stream at this point.
If we aren't able to go ahead with the humblest stream,
do something like this.
We might have a few people who can't make it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could try and do the secret ending of Dream Daddy.
Yeah.
Because I want to try and...
we'll do a bunch of shit.
Yeah. I want to unlock the secret ending.
Because also Untitled Goose Game is only good for like 8 minutes. So, yeah.
Do some random shit.
We can do some random shit on Thursday. Have some fun. I came up with an excellent name for the magazine bird thing. It's a magpie. Laura, yes. Very good. Very good.
Magpies are dangerous.
Because I called it a Cleo... Is it... Not pterosaur. It was a Cleodactyl. Cleo is an Australian magazine.
Yeah. Magpie's better. I'm sorry.
Magpie is better. I'll give you that one.
Also, magpies will try and peck out your eyes.
Yeah.
So that's
all Australian animals. Imagine the European version, then fuck it up.
It sounds like a joke, but we actually would wear ice cream tubs on our heads if you had to pass a magpie's nest, because they would try and swoop you, and you needed to have something on your head to deflect the magpie. They go for cyclists a lot.
If you like my majestic voice, but you think you could stand to tone the face down a bit, you can check me out in the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar and his little dragon Hrosh, and Keren and I are two halves of the comedy puppet duo Paparotica, which you can normally find infesting fringe festivals around the world. I say around the world, really just Australia. You have firebombing birds of prey. Of course the magpies are also on the side. Yeah, exactly.
We joke that it's magpie season because they're nesting. Get ready.
Yeah.
I have never actually been swooped though.
Really?
No.
I have. I'm the one who takes the dog for a walk, so I'm often in their habitat. Siri used to get swooped all the time.
I've been swooped by other birds, but not a magpie. Huh. I've missed out on a fundamental Australian experience.
Keren, tell me about Ukraine.
Ukraine, country in Eastern Europe, full of Russians that aren't supposed to be there, which has created a rather large set of problems that I'm sure you can flesh out in your own mind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the conflict is ongoing. So if you are able to donate to either of the links in chat, the first is just a straight-up donation link for Australian-based charities and not-for-profits to support the Ukrainian refugees. The second, you can buy a cool little D&D booklet, which is inspired by Ukraine and its surrounding areas. Beautiful map, its characters, subclasses. It's nifty, and you only have to donate £1 to get a copy of it. We have it. It's pretty great. We did the one-shot. If you want to go check it out, it is on our YouTube. We have a seagull season for the same reason. I've been swooped by a seagull once. It's scary. Haven't been attacked by a magpie, but I have been attacked by a pelican that tried to eat my arm.
We also have a Discord, and we have all the exclamation mark socials.
Yeah, you can follow us on the Twitter while it lasts. It's getting janky over there, guys. Not gonna lie. The feed updates in really weird ways now.
The Discord, I'm wondering now if we've got a picture of a... Oh, I need to do the welcome aboard thing, hey. Morphs, she, her. Oh. Was not my guess from the name, but there we go. Cool, verified. Now Morphs can post in other places. Creative art. Morphs put up. Woo!
Oh, I like it.
Morphs, that's cool. Thank you very much for sharing. We will reshare on our Corsair's Cove Insta.
That's wonderful.
13-sided dice.
That's wonderful.
That's dope. Love this.
I'm gonna share it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And yeah, we'll put a picture of Siri in the pet pictures. I don't think we put a picture of her.
That's in 3 and 4s.
Yeah, that's great.
That's smart. I like it.
Good job.
Very cool.
You did what I could not be bothered to. It's probably could work out how this is going to go, but I can't be bothered.
Well, if you want to see pictures of Morphs D13, either check out their Instagram or check out our Discord or our Instagram. We'll post it. Yeah, you're very welcome, Morphs. Very cool.
Always happy to be a creative prompt.
Yeah. Well, we should go away from here now, guys, because we've been streaming for a gosh darn while. check out Wooden Forge, the wonderful chaps at woodenforge.com. They create handcrafted wooden tabletop accessories like this beautiful Jarrah Dice Keeper. Their logo is in the top corner of the screen, and if you want to check it out, there's the link to their stuff. It's really beautiful, handcrafted, artisan quality stuff, all made out of recycled Australian wood. And it's beautiful. Really, really lovely stuff. I own altogether too much of it. Okay. All gifts, though. I have never bought any.
Other people buy them.
Actually, I have. I bought one for Rhythm.
You did.
I bought one of these boys for Rhythm in the Mind. My brother.
And I bought you the dice.
You did. You did.
So
they also stopped some very lovely dice and things. So, yeah, we'll drop a raid on the Eldritch Scribe. Des and the other bloody champions over there are streaming some D&D. They're probably doing their ongoing Kingslayers campaign, which will be fun. So go over there, throw up your favorite raid emotes up in chat, tell Des and the guys and gals where you came from, and we will see you same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow evening for some more TTRPGs. That'll be super fun. So yeah, say goodbye, Keren.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.